Hey, 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 hey. I think I'm live. We're gonna check and see before I get started. But hey guys, hey, 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 hey. Um, okay. So, hey guys, hey, 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 hey. Come over real quick. I'm gonna do a quick live. I know it's been like a little bit since I did a live with you guys, and it has like been absolutely crazy. And let me check the mic because the mics be getting fatigued and everything. So I'm gonna check and see. Um, okay, so hey, 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 everybody. My name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Ashe Wellness, and what I do is that I help stressed out women who are attempting to find balance to establish and maintain healing habits so they can be healthy and happy. How we do this is that we distress the mess by testing and not guessing. And yes, I said they're like super fast and fumbling and all that kind of stuff because I have to hurry up because the kids want to go live and do other stuff. Just got done with another interview and I'm like, okay, yeah, I want my mic to start acting silly. So, wanted to come over and do a quick live because I'm supposed to be going live more, right? And then I just got done the interview and I was like, well, I was thinking I was kind of cute. I should come over here and do it live. So, first of all, if you're watching this video live, make sure you say hey. Like, do not like just sit here, scroll, and do all that. Like, click the button, say hey, interact, ask questions, give me some aha, some confirmation, some hearts, and some love. And then if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And if this message resonates with you, then please hit that share button and share with your network of friends and family as well. And you also, I think, can invite people. I don't know how that's set up if you're on a personal profile, but yeah. So the topic that you see that we're going to talk about today is when I realized this about stress, like my life changed. My life changed when I realized this about stress. And so I'm going to talk about three things that once I realized these things, that changed my life in my viewpoint about what stress is and what it does, and how all of us are handling it, and all of us are dealing with stress and the benefits and stuff like that. So this is going to be three things that I once I realized these things that changed my viewpoint, my life about stress, right? And so, as many of you know, my actual I'm an FDN and practitioner, and what I majorly function. I was gonna tell y'all what the functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. I guess I should go ahead and say that there, what that meant. But my primary like niche is the adrenal glands, right? Adrenals. And like when I say adrenals, I mean adrenal fatigue, basically stress and sleep management, right? And so the reason why you hear me say that so much is because of the importance of what these organs do, right? The adrenals I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but one of those things was one of the points, right? So, what I focus primarily on and what people come to me, what I said, I help and support, assist, uh, stressed out women, right? Everybody's stressed, and everybody literally, like, people are like, oh, I'm good on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 2. I'm like, not all, like, everybody's stressed. So every like stressed out women is a relative word, who are attempting to like find balance, maintain it. You try to find some type of like lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna help you establish those healing habits so that you can be healthy and happy, right? And how we do that is that we distress the mess, was an acronym, and then we by testing and not guessing. And so as I have been on my journey of education, and like, for those of you, if you're new to the channel, like, I'm the geek, I'm the nerd, I'm the science geek, and so I'm the detective. I'm gonna go and research and get training and certification on everything under the sun and just be a lifelong learner. But I understand that there are just certain things that keep being repetitious to me, and there are certain things that my clients say. I did a post and asked people about their top 3 main health concerns. You could go back and look, like 90% of people were saying some of the same things. And yes, each person is individualized and customized care. We believe in that. But there are just certain things that are in general that you're like, okay, when you keep hearing these same things over and over, that's affecting the same system. Like, this one system holds and deals with that. And that one system for me is the adrenals, right? And so the number one thing that I learned, what I learned about stress that changed my life and practice and the way I view things, is that everything is a stressor and that is necessary. Like, Everything is a stressor. And so once I realized that when I first learned about that, it was like, this was my niche. And when I started going through my program and they tell you to niche down and get you a niche or niche, depending on how you say that. I was like, I know that's kind of like where I'm going with this. It's just going to be able to show me that I'm able to do lab work to see this type of stuff. I help with, like, I have a stress management program and all this kind of good jazz. And I'm like, but I was like, okay, but we shouldn't have so much stress. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, but what I quickly learned is that everything is a stressor. From chewing food is a stressor, because if you look at the definition of what stress really is, it's anything that's causing a yin to a yang, is basically a way of saying that, or a inhibitor, or something that's causing a conflict, or something that's causing a different reaction. There's many different definitions, but I'm summing up and giving you those in layman's terms. So everything is a stressor. If I do this, that is a stressor. That's also movement, which is also exercise. That's why I love the concept that people are starting to say movement. You need to move your body more, not necessarily like exercise, right? And so, but that concept of that everything's a stressor, you eating, your body digesting, the system is one of the major stress. It's like the number one stressor of your body. That's why they're making a big deal and telling you, hey, be mindful of what you're eating, because it can be taxing to the body. In certain times of the year, you should not be eating certain things, right? And that's why foods are seasonal. You ever wonder why, like, you can't get certain foods at a certain time of year, like the universe and God and all, like, it was meant to be that way, right? Because eating itself is the hardest stressor on your body. Eating. Like, you like, well, I mean, when I came out the womb, I started eating. So yeah, since you've been coming out the womb, the hardest stressor on your body is eating, right? And then you don't understand, like, the mental stresses that you have on your body, right? The physical stressors, the emotional stressors, the environmental stressors, right? All those 8 areas of wellness are different things that can come to you and cause disrest, can cause unrest, and is a stressor. So if you wonder why I say stress management, that is why, because everything from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed is a stressor, right? And that's why I say stress and sleep. Even though when I say adrenals, that helps with your adrenals too, right? And so that was one of the major things that I learned that changed my life about stress. Like, yes, everything is a stressor, but then a lot of times this stress is needed. If a dog is chasing me, I want something to tell me to run or be alert or pay attention, because that dog may bite me, right? I want to be sitting there like, yeah, I'm chill. That dog ain't gonna do nothing. A whale coming to bite you. You don't want to be sitting here like, oh, I'm super chill. I'm calm. You want something to tell you, right? So not all stress is bad stress, and we're gonna talk about that at a later time. But like, it's necessary. The stressors that are to your body are necessary, right? And so you just have to know that I'm not saying to do stress elimination. I said stress reduction, right? Stress management. They're different. Those are different words. Eliminating stress. Yes, you can. There are certain things that are stresses in your life that we all know can be eliminated. But there are other things that can reduce. There are things that you can do that can reduce stress, and there are things that you can do that will help you manage stress, right? One of those things is the way what I eat, when I eat it, causes less friction for my digestion. So that's managing the stress of that. I have to have that stress. So I have to eat, right? I have to drink, right? My system has to digest food. My organs have to process, or there will be no body function systems left, right? So you just have to be mindful of those, and that I'm saying management of things, right? The second thing that once I learned about it and what it really was, that changed my life about stress, was the adrenals. Like, that is why I say, like, for the scientific word, I deal with the adrenals, right? Adrenal fatigue, adrenal insufficiencies. People who have severe cases have Addison's or Cushing's syndrome and disease. You start getting to those things. But on basic level, the average person, especially right now, is dealing with adrenal fatigue, right? Like, the average person, because it's so many stresses. And when I realized, like, what it does, and that it has 3 different layers, and that it produces those steroid hormones that you need, like your steroid hormones, right? Like those type of things. And that it also does things like your cortisol, and that it has stuff to do with, like, aldosterone and all this kind of stuff, and that deals with testosterone. It helps with the production of, like, I'm gonna make a list because I don't want to be forgetting to tell y'all something. But when I say, like, affects your organ systems, what she did, am I sticking up? But yeah, so the adrenals, like, affect so many different things. Protein, carb digestion. When people are saying, like, dealing with your fatigue, having brain fog, having like low sex drive, especially for women. Most people think, oh, it's like men too, but especially when you start talking about low sex drive, especially in women, your hormones, so estrogen, progesterone, like I said, testosterone, cortisol, DHEA, that says, one of them says, hey, get fight or flight, and then one of them says, hey, relax and chill, right? And the regulation of those protein, carb, like your blood sugar regulation, and stuff like that, right? And hypoglycemia, those type of things are regulated about, like, most people don't realize that if you don't have cortisol, like, you would be dead. Like, that helps the you have to have that. You have to have some type of regulation of that, or there's a malfunction, right? And so one of the main things, or some of the things that people are saying all the time is, hey, I wake up tired. I'm waking up sluggish. I have to drink coffee just to wake up. That could be you being fatigued. That could be an adrenal being have a adrenal fatigue. I'm having brain fog when I can't go to sleep at night. That's melatonin, right? Or gut bug and stuff. So it allows you to start looking at, when I start realizing that and learning about everything that is these organs that are sitting in there. The adrenals sit on top of your kidneys, right? And so they're triangle shaped organs that sit on top of both your kidneys. So you have two of them, just like you have two kidneys, unless something that's happening. But we don't realize the importance of those type of things. And so, and the thing about it that I learned also is that this is a continual thing. It's usually not a boom, I'm having something wrong with my adrenals. Boom, I all become sluggish. Usually when it's adrenal fatigue or something to do with your adrenals, you are dealing with something over time. You have had hormone imbalance over time. You have had cortisol imbalance over time. You have blood sugar regulation over time. You have had fatigue over time. You have brain fog over time. I've had low sex drive over time, right? It's not just something that just like, I'm going to do one thing and it's going to be over, right? So it manifested. So that was one of the things that I learned. Once I learned about the adrenals, that changed my viewpoint. That changed my life. I saw stressors because, and how I found it out a lot. And yes, I could, like I tell people all the time, the applied knowledge about you is what's power. Like, yeah, knowledge is power. Great. Applied knowledge is power. Super. No, applied knowledge about you is power over Ashe land, right? Because when you're starting to learn those different things, I knew about what that was. I had been in nurse school, had been in search tech school, had learned all these different things, and going through different programs and stuff like that. When we start talking about digestion and gut health, when you have people talking gut health and your endocrine system and thyroid and stuff, so I heard about these organs, I heard about these things, but it wasn't until I started seeing it and I got a lab test that was like, what's going on in the morning? What's going on in the night? You had an episode in the afternoon, so is that a food sensitive? Like, that started giving me ideas about where I should be going in that sites, right? So learning about different organ systems, and it was a lab test. I guess I could throw in a lab test about my adrenals. Really changed my life about how I looked at stress, because the different things that are stressing you, right? So blood sugar regulation could cause you, and you're not going and doing your sleep process. If you're not getting proper sleep and they do that whole process, then your blood sugar regulation could be off, and that's because the system is something that's causing that, and then that could be affecting you in the morning. And then morning, afternoon, that could be something food. So that could be a food sensitivity, right? Then you start talking about people say, oh, I have leaky gut, or I have the permeability of my intestines is messed up. Or at night, I'm like, I can't sleep and I can't fall asleep, and it's something that's active, and I'm having gut problems. I'm having heartburn all the time, and that could be a gut bug, right? But it's all like a test showed me that, like, me wanting to see about my adrenals showed me that. Showed me those different things to say, hey, you need to go look here and figure out what's going on. Right? And so just learning about that and being able to see myself in that taught me that the stresses of my life, some of them are good and some of them are beneficial, but also that I need to manage them in a certain way, right? And some of them are, like I said, you may need to eliminate, you may need to reduce them, you may need to manage them, and that those things being out of whack cause problems and cause severe problems, because a lot of times you're just walking around and you're just dealing with it. Oh, I don't ever want to really be getting out of bed, but I get out of bed because I got to take care of these kids. Or I stay up all night because I be trying to go to sleep, but it ain't really no big deal. I don't need 2 hours of sleep. Like, how many times do we do this stuff on a chronic nature? Like, it's not something acute that just something tragic happened to you, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, this is it. No, over time, you've been doing this and I have clients who are telling me that I've been dealing with this for years, like 10 years, 20. I'm like, 20 years you've been tired? 20 years you've been fatigued? When was the last time you felt your best self? Your best? This is the question. And then they're like, oh, girl, before I had kids, my kids grown. I'm like, but they're right. And you just think about, like, how many people, how long we're managing stress in that way, that we're just saying that. And like, again, if you ask them on a scale of 1 to 10 what their stress level is, oh, I'm doing all right, I'm doing fine. But then you ask, and like I say, if I ask you that question, you may give me a different number. If I ask your body's going to give me a different number. It's going to give me a different response. That's why we do the testing, because I'm like, yeah, that's what your mouth say. I need to see what your body's telling me, right? And so that's why that was something that helped to change my life and viewpoint on what stress is and what stress does to the body. The third thing that I would say, that once I learned about these things, it changed my life about stress, was stress management techniques. And so I will say stress management because, again, I've said this, I like alluded to this, was a major thing, right? Because there are certain stresses in my life I had to eliminate. There were people, places, and things. There were nouns that I had to eliminate. And those were like stressful, but I was able to eliminate them and get them gone. There are certain things that I would have to, as stressors, I would have to, there were certain stresses in my life that I was having to reduce, such as what I was eating and helping my gut, healing the gut permeability, healing the inflammation to have an inflamed gut, and supporting my adrenals, reducing the amount of stress, being able to do detoxes so that my gallbladder and liver can function the way they're supposed to, right? And then taking the time to actually allow my body to heal. That's a stress or reduction, right? Managing the stress is like, okay, this right here is not going to ever go away. So you're just going to have to learn how to deal with it, but I don't want you to deal with it in such a way that it's like whatever, right? Actually being mindful. So some of the stress reduction techniques that I did was, one of the main things I had to start doing was the art of acceptance. And I talk about this all the time. And in my course, this is the first week of what our 8-week program, the art of acceptance. Like, we have to accept those things. Like, accept those things as though they are, they were, and they will be. And we have a whole lesson about that. The art of acceptance of what has happened, what is happening to you right now, what will come, right? And then once you accept it, then it's okay, giving yourself grace. Give yourself the grace and mercy to say, okay, I have to forgive myself, and there's different exercises and stuff that I had to go through, that I had to go through those processes, even with like death of family members, like guilt of that, or going through a divorce, or the kids being home and they're not able to go do this, or life changing with doing this, or me running from, like all those different things, having to say, hey, I have to give myself grace in that, because the stressor of that was a actual lifestyle stressor, that was something external that was causing me great stress in life. And I was like, okay, it'll be okay, it'll be all right. This person died, I'll be okay. Hey, this situation happened, I'll be okay. The money was this, I'll be okay. Even with my money mindset, right? We talk about the mindset, giving yourself grace, so that changing the mindset and your perception and your vision and viewpoint on something. Because of that, is those are ways that you can actually manage your stress. They could change the way you perceive stuff by giving yourself grace and accepting certain stuff and not being a control freak or the perfectionist, right? And so those are things that once I learned about them, they were very life changing for me. Also learning things such as, I wrote it down, like mindful meditation. I know some people are like, oh, that's for class, or meditation, that's like that's some type of other religion, and I'm a Christian, or I'm a this religion, I don't believe in that. I can't tell you about anything else, because I identify as Christian and have a relationship with God, right? But at the same time, it was certain things that I learned about myself that I was like, okay, I could pray to God all the time, but then I was never doing the receiving end. So I use meditation to get grounded and stay present in that moment. In this moment, I exclude the world. It's all about me. I'm going to zen in and get focused on this minute. Mindfulness came in because I have to be mindful of what's right now. I can't worry about what happened in the past, man. That's the past. Yes, it's affecting me and I need to heal from it. Yes, the future is going to come. And yes, I can worry about, is it going to be enough money? Is it going to be another relationship? Is my business going to be successful? Am I being a great parent? Am I being a great friend? Am I being a great like all those things come up. And so you're worrying about something. That's why so many people have problems with anxiety. Is mostly because most time people have anxiety, worry about stuff that's potentially happen. So when you're being mindfulness and meditation allowed me to say, okay, stop all of that other stuff. Stop analyzing, stop being perfect, stop trying to control stuff, and be mindful right now in this moment, right? You have prayed about it. You have set the stuff up. Now be quiet and listen to what comes in. And right now, be mindful about that right now. Right? So that was, when I say healing and life changing and viewpoint changing, and adding EFT tapping to that. So if you have no idea about EFT tapping, just be ready, because we have some experts who are going to be talking about this, because on our wellness Wednesday webinars, which I'll talk about in a minute, we're definitely going to be adding more of the EFT tapping. Is when you tap certain meridian points on the body to relieve, and you say affirmation and different statements and affirming and confirming yourself and bringing again that mindful. Because if you're doing this, I can't focus on I got to do this because I'm doing this. like it's bringing the attention to bring here. And so adding the EFT tapping along with my mindful meditation has, when I learned about those things and how they were beneficial, because I was like, how, at first I'm the skeptic. Nobody can be more skeptic than me. You better ask my friends, like ask my network. If you actually had conversations with me, I'm very, very type A, pragmatic. OCD is either black or white with me. There is no gray with a lot of things, and that's how I introduce myself to like people. Like that is me to the core. I'm a type A Aries. Like, there's no way you gonna be able to come up and just like, oh yeah, like, girl, cause that's because some good wine. You gonna, nah, let me try it. Let me research the brand. Let me do, like, that's just me in nature. So to find stuff and say, oh, I'm just gonna give stuff a try, do this. I researched and found about those different things, and even then I was like, And then I was invited to do a money mindset challenge, and that's how I actually started doing EFT tapping, because who are tapping for like change your money mindset and to tap to a certain amount. And so even that practice of that helped to change my money mindset, which is a stressor. And then as stuff started happening in my life, it was like, oh, like this person died, or this situation, or I need to hear this. I started adding that and incorporating into more into my mindful meditation, and I was like, this is life changing. This is allowing me to focus. So we talk about self care, ultimate self care. Going deeper than, oh, I'm going to take a hot bath, because y'all know I'm all about that. I'm all about going on a date night for myself. Like, those are other things that I did that were stress reduction techniques. Those were stress reduction techniques. Taking a hot bath, going on a date with myself, and when I have like the stuffed peppers and I sit down and I get dressed up and I have the music and stuff like that, and having a date with myself, those were stress reduction, because I'm detaching. But stress management and actually focusing on Sequoia on a deeper level of self care came with doing stuff that didn't have anything to do with anything else. So like, yeah, take your time to read a book, and adult color and all those are great. But I had to go on a deeper level to be able to heal things that was on an energetic level that end up started manifesting themselves on a physical level and a mental level, right? And so those are things that I've learned about that helped me. Once I learned about them, it changed my life. It changed my viewpoint. It changed my whole concept about stress and what it does and how it does to your body. So those are three things. I'm going to recap, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. For those of you who are tuning in, I'm going over the three things that once I learned these things, they changed my life and my viewpoint about stress, right? And so I'm just going to recap. The first one was everything is a stressor and that is necessary. Number two, once I learned about the adrenals and their function and how they affect the body, that changed my life as far as stress. And it changed my game in my business. It changed the game in my self care and the healing of myself and my own protocol about going through the process of healing my own ailments and things in my body. The third thing was stress management techniques. Once I learned about true stress management techniques, that was it was a life changer, and it's like got to the point where I think that was God is on my side and everything, but it was definitely a thing that's for keeping my right mind and saving my life. Because it was certain things that if I would have been the old me and done that, it would have been a whole nother conversation, a whole nother story. And so I'm happy that I was able to incorporate those things and not be so pragmatic, if for lack of a better word, and let research or let science or anything like kind of take over with that. So those are the three things. If you missed any of those things, me going into detail, please start back from the beginning. I just wanted to come on with you guys real quick to say Happy Wellness Wednesday. Give a couple things about what I've learned and what I'm learning. So that topic was once I learned these things about stress, how they changed about these things. My life changed when I learned about these things about stress, right? So how once I learned about these three different points, that changed my life in the area of stress and how it affects the body, what it does, and things of that nature. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you're watching replay, put hashtag replay. If you're feeling like this information was beneficial, then please do hit the share button. And just to let you guys know, this is Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday at 8 p.m. Come back to go to our event page. If I were you, I would click the notifications for events, because we've been on and popping. This month was was Health Literacy Month, and so every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we were having a class about education about something, right? And so we did the class about essential oils. We did the class about EMF, all these acronyms, EMF and toxin removal. We also did one about like lab testing, like why wellness scans and lab testing and things of that nature are done. That was the first week. And so tonight we're going to be talking about supplements. And so if you're wanting to know about, like, we're not talking about a particular supplement, but if you want to know like why supplementation is needed, why in the mess of things, when we're in my protocol, you're going to get supplementation recommendations. If you want to know like all these concepts of potion, lotions, and pills, why I should do this, why I should take this, why I should go here, why I should be here, why I should take this one, and why is this pill I'm absorbing some things and certain things I'm not, right? What's the difference between the Flintstone vitamins on the shelf versus something I'm getting from a company versus something else, a nutraceutical versus infraceutical, and all these different things, right? So if you are concerned about that and you're wondering about the proper supplementation for your body. And so a lot of times is, when should you do supplementation, right? How much of supplementation should you be doing? Especially right now, people are like, it's getting ready to be winter. Should I be supplementing with echinacea? Should I be doing more vitamin C, vitamin D because of COVID and the cold and flu season, right? Or you have something going on. There's supplementation that's derived for certain things, such as eradicate gut bug, eradicate candida, eradicate this ailment, that ailment, right? And to help with this. So knowing when and where and how and the type of supplement is very key and important. And if you're tired of being on that roller coaster of guessing and trying things, then you definitely want to tune into this this wellness webinar tonight, because I have my great friend Sarah Katie coming on, and she's going to be talking to us and doing interview style, talking about what supplementation is, why it's important, why using the right ones are important as well, right? And so I hope you guys join in for that. But then stay tuned, because every Wednesday, at least through the in November, we have it scheduled. So be paying attention. You want to stay attention to our events. Invite your networks. This is information that you guys are getting like for free. There's no things. People are winning prizes and winning scans and winning product and things of that nature. So if you are wanting to get the information, because we, like we said, we kind of keep continuing on from Health Literacy Month, definitely join us on those Wellness Wednesday webinars at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our events channel. And so we will, get you the information, share with your networks, share with the team, share with other people, because the information is needed and necessary. And so you're going to be surprised about some of the topics that we have coming up and who we have joining us, because sometimes it's me alone and sometimes it's some of my plethora of amazing health and wellness friends. And so definitely you want to join in. So thank you so much, you guys, for joining and tuning in. This is going to be a great time to go ahead and get off, because the kids are, again, I told you I'm supposed to hop on, hop off, and now they're ready for their turn. But wanted to come and talk to you guys for a few minutes. Remember that I have the power to change and make things happen, and so do you. And also, if you guys look, we are in the season of doing like wellness scans and the DNA test and lab testing. A lot of people have been hitting me up. Thank you so much. And if you have sent me a message and someone from my team did not get back with you about appointment links or scheduling, please do make sure you hit me up. Because I think it was something going on with the Facebook and the connections with who's editing things at me and stuff. But if you do not hear back, like really literally like by 24 hours, way more, it should be way faster than that. But if you have not heard within 24 hours, definitely reach out to me personally, so that we can make sure that we get you guys scheduled, because the wellness scans, the DNA test and lab testing is definitely key in implementing lifestyle changes that show you about you. So again, my name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I have the power to change and make things happen. Ashe, and talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.